I will never stop making new decks in Vintage, and I'm also not going to stop winning with them. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers. Mono White Initiative is on a downturn, so I'm going to break out something that I've been waiting to play, but has been kind of taken down a notch by Initiative existing, and that is 5-color humans. This is actually going to be a bit of a different version. This is more 5-color legends. I'm going to call it 5-color heroes. There are enough blue legendaries now that you can fit Force of Will in your deck, and there's been some recent printings in lands that help with this idea. So we're going to play a 12 5-color land mana base here with Cavern of Souls, whatever creature type can't be countered. Abundant Countryside, which is the newly printed 5-color for creatures only. That also has a late game mana sink where you can make changelings. And then Plaza of Heroes, which is probably the interesting card in this list, which is makes 5 colors for legendary spells. And then once you have legendary spells in play, it does make colors of your legends that are in play. And it also has 3 mana and tap to exile the land and give a legendary creature hexproof or indestructible to end of turn. So those are the lands we're playing to support our base. And I'm going to be base humans. So almost every time I will play Cavern of Souls on human, except if I want to play Cavern of Souls on pirate. The biggest problem with a deck like this is actually the 1-drops. Legendary 1-drops in Magic are really bad. There's not very many good ones. All the ones that you're thinking of, I have thought of because I looked at all of them. Tamiyo is nice because it ups the blue count, but it doesn't really help with the aggressive game plan that this deck is trying to do, and it doesn't really like get back a lot of spells or flip very often. So I don't think it really makes sense to play Tamiyo in this deck. You can try to get like a Delighted Halfling going, but it's not a legendary, and it's not a human, so it's like you can cast it off of Halfling on Cavern, but then you kind of have a dead Cavern, which is really bad, and you can't cast it off of Plaza of Heroes. So it doesn't really make sense here. So I have kind of filled out the 1 slot with other things. Like the thing that to talk about first is to get the blue count high enough, we have to play a lot of the blue ones. And thankfully, the blue ones are all very good. And so that's the reason you can play multiple of each legend of the blue cards, because they are all pitchable to Force of Will, which will be very big here. The glue that's holding this together is going to be Basim and Aang. So Aang is a 3-drop flying flash that can airbend, which kind of like exiles a creature or spell until they pay more mana to cast it or something like that. This is nice because this actually gives you a main deck removal spell. Also a spell that interacts with spells on the stack. So this Aang actually I think is a really big reason to try to play this kind of deck. And then Basim is a 2/2 that when you play historic spells, it can't be blocked and you draw a card. And when it deals damage to players, it gets bigger. I think Basim is going to be your core aggressive engine here to close out games. I have anti-vintage cards in Lavinia and Mokdi and Itla. This is anti-PO, anti-artifact stuff, as kind of is Lavinia if you play it early enough. And then I have Grand filling out just because it's a blue 1-drop I can play on turn 1. So it's blue, I can pitch the Force of Will. It's a 1-drop, I can play it on turn 1. And then looting away is actually pretty reasonable in this deck that has legends, because you can only have 1 of each kind of legend in play at a time. Obviously, the blue ones can get pitched to Force, but between Inti and Grand, we should be able to discard some of our extra legends like Ragavans and Ceciles and stuff, and convert them into real Magic cards. I do have Inti. Inti's a nice aggressive card that is card advantage, or I guess card quality or something like that, which is nice. I have this one as a cool one you probably haven't seen before. I think this is called Jackal in the Spider-Man printing, but this is Druneth, the Reviver of the Hive. It's a 1/1 trampler. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to its power, copy that spell, except the copy isn't legendary, then put a 1/1 counter on it. So we have 1, 2s, and 3-drops, so we can get as many as 3 different copies of legends. And of course, this is an attacking blue creature, which is important. Mai is our other anti-vintage card, where players casting non-creature spells lose life, and it's a first striker, very powerful. Time Walk, Ancestral are obviously hard to cast in our deck. But we have a Plaza of Heroes and a lot of blue creatures, so I'm actually okay with it. Like, these are just high-end, really powerful cards that we want to have in our deck. Mental Misstep is protecting us from Fatal Pushes and Swords to Plowshares, so that has to be included as well. I have 1 Samwise in here to do Wasteland Caracas loops with. I think it's reasonable to have. And then, like I said, I don't really like Ragavan in Vintage, especially not in 2026. But it definitely, if there's any deck that makes sense, Ragavan fits here as it creates colors, treasures that can cast any color, and it gives me a reasonable turn 1 play. Someone had already asked about Cecile. Cecile is just a human attacking creature that we can get on turn 1 and use to help make our curve make more sense and start pressuring our opponent. The number 1 question that will come up in the YouTube comments and already has come up in chat is Mox Amber. Why does this deck with all legends play no Mox Amber? And the reason is because Mox Amber is a bad Magic card. Why is Mox Amber a bad Magic card? Well, what makes a Mox good? A Mox is good because it does not cost a land drop and lets you play things ahead of curve. Does Mox Amber let you play things ahead of curve? No, Mox Amber only makes mana when you've already played something, so you are not getting ahead on curve. The best Mox Amber can do is that you play an additional spell on a turn. And like we already said, the 1-drops here are not great. So like if your opening hand was maybe Mox plus land plus 2-drop plus Mox Amber plus a 1-drop, and it was the right color, then maybe it has a powerful play, but it's just simply not going to do that very often. So this deck has no Mox Ambers in it because Mox Amber is a card you play when you're trying to play a bad deck in another format that doesn't have real Moxen. The real Moxen here will let us play cards ahead of curve. That being said, our real Moxen might still struggle to help us play cards ahead of curve because of the very prohibitive mana cost of these cards. But we got enough 1x cards here, and then of course our 5-color lands, so I'm not too worried about that. Sideboard, we've got Dismembers to play against mono white. I've got 6 creatures. None of these are legendaries, unfortunately, to play against Dredge, but I think it makes more sense to just have more human creatures or this was not a human, but it doesn't really matter. Creatures here to play against Dredge. And then I have extra counters and null rods for the matchups where those things make sense. I don't really like Lotus Petal here, Chess, because I don't think my cards are impactful enough to warrant being -1 card, and I don't have a Lurrus in my deck, so I don't think Lotus Petal does enough here. I also am going to be like very heavily based around null rod push boards in different games. Jailer is a zombie, but again, Countryside makes mana of any color for any creature. Cavern of Souls can make mana of any color for any creature. So I don't think these are like the best, but I don't think it will be too big of a problem. Any creature you can think of that is a legendary 1 or 2 drop I've probably looked at in regards to this list. Why wouldn't I play a card like Wanshitan or Katara? Those cards fall under the same category as Tamiyo, as cards that are not synergistic with the deck. The deck is, at its core, a Hate Bear tempo deck. Katara requires you to play spells on your opponent's turn. I can't do that. Wanshitan wants you to play a flash controlling game. It doesn't do that. Why can't you play Flusterstorms? Because none of my... I literally can't cast a Flusterstorm. Why am I not playing Negations? I am playing Negations. They're in the sideboard for matchups where Negation is good. I guess I can keep asking questions if they want, but that kind of basically covers the general idea of the deck. I think this deck would be pretty reasonable up against blue combo decks like Lurrus PO, Lurrus Breach, Lurrus Doomsday, Jewel, and then I think this deck will struggle if it plays up against mono white initiative. If we go up against Frog, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out because we should overload their removal, but we don't actually have a lot of ways to beat a Frog itself, so that could be problematic. Dredge, like I said, we have Wastelands, but we're not a combo-oriented deck, and so it probably is a little bit challenging. I wouldn't say this deck is like a great deck, but I don't think this deck is unfeasible. If you go back in my YouTube channel, I actually won a couple $100 farming various events 4 or 5 years ago with humans decks that didn't even play Force of Will. Those were decks based around Sanctum Prelate, which made it so, because just like the way narrow deck building was working at the time, you could actually build an aggressive humans deck and farm certain matchups. So yeah. Is Lurrus not good enough main? No, Lurrus is not a good card to play in the main. What is Lurrus doing here? Returning 1 and 2 drops? That's not a strong enough play. Lurrus needs to be returning 0 drops for it to be good. It's also very hard to cast. It's not in this deck, obviously not very hard to cast, but you know, it's not a human here, so our caverns are not going to be naming it on it very often. And like, how many games do you play a Lurrus in the main where you have enough time to be bringing back 1 and 2 drops? Especially with like one of the main removal spells in the format is still Swords to Plowshares. You need to like make sure your deck is full of cards that actually interact with the format in a meaningful way. So I hope that answers some of your questions on why X, Y, and Z cards are not included. I think the thing that makes the least amount of sense in this deck is the 1-drop slot. Unfortunately, there just like aren't great 1-drop humans that fit what our deck wants to be doing as of yet in Vintage. If that changes in the future, maybe this will get a little bit stronger. But for now, like they're definitely our 1-drop slot is our weaker side, and we're going to be looking for more Moxen if possible to play 2-drops on turn 1, which of course is a good reason to play the Lotus Petal. If we decide that like these 1-drops are really not getting the job done, then we need to maybe put in additional ways to get to our 2-drop earlier. So that is our deck today and the reason I built it. It's very possible this deck goes 0-4 on the stream and you'll never see it again. And maybe it will surprise you in this Vintage Challenge. High stakes, proxy friendly paper Vintage returns to the US in 2026. The legendary NYSE will be back June 6th in New York, and the Oklahoma Land Run returns July 10th through 12th in Oklahoma City. More details still to come. I hope to see you there. All right, welcome to round 1 of this Vintage Challenge with 5-color heroes. On the play, do not have a cat. I have a force, though. I also have Cecile, Gran, Basim. A nice hand, actually. This is probably the worst Gran deck of all time, but we won't talk about that. She's blue, so we can get Cecile down and start attacking. I think it's better than looting here. There are non-humans in the deck, so it's 5-color heroes because there are no non-legendaries in the deck. They're not. They're not all humans. I just told you that. I just told you that. They are mostly humans. In my hand? Who gives a shit about my hand? Is Medivh on Oops All Spells, or this is mono white? Oh, it's mono white. I don't actually have to counter this. But I probably still just will. Yeah, but like I kind of want my attacking creature to be in play and attacking. Oh, I should probably have cast Gran. I'm going to force that. Look at that. Easy. Plaza here. I should do this post-combat. Blue and black. Basim. All right, you got another land and a 3-drop? Hopefully I just draw historic spells for the rest of the game. I do not have a basic to search if I were to take the initiative, by the way. Swords in the main? And a land? Oh, no. Swords in the main. How much does this thing cost? 3 to exile? Maybe I should not have countered that pearl. Starting to regret my choice. I mean, if it's stopping them from playing a 4-drop unblockable monstrosity, that's a good thing. Yeah, hollow White Plume Adventure. Well, not really in a good spot, unfortunately. I think countering the pearl ended up being really bad for me. That's not very good either. Oh, I am so bad. This thing gets indestructible, right? Yeah, that was not a good choice. I should have played this so I could give this indestructible. Now they can trade and go down the lost wall. That was not my best play of all time. Also, it's 12 to 12. I don't think I'm winning this game, but I played really poorly. It's my own fault. Countering Pearl was really bad. Not playing my land there was really bad. I am pretty dead here, top bottom. The fact that my Basim got swords in game 1 was really bad, because I kind of was counting on the Basim to just win the game. Did they keep that on top, or is that... Oh, yeah, okay. So maybe they just had a Seasoned Engineer this whole time, but if I had countered the Seasoned Engineer, I would have been in a much better spot, right? So this is definitely my fault. I played really poorly. Would we have won this game if I had played well? Maybe, maybe not. So this gets them a Catacombs. I attack and steal the initiative, but it's not very good. I guess I can kill the Catacombs, attack and steal the initiative, but I'm still going to die to this stupid Seasoned Engineer. I'm like just so dead. I guess technically they can't recast this. I guess they can because they hit a Wasteland off. They hit a Wasteland off of the Seasoned Engineer. Okay, well, I'm just super dead then. That's so bad for me. Everything that could go wrong in this game went wrong in this game. Main deck swords is crazy. Man. To be fair, if I had made my guy indestructible and then got wastelanded after, I would just not be able to play spells for the rest of the game. And an Archon that flies and blocks? Okay, well. I don't think I would have won this game if I had played well, but I definitely did not play well. I just kind of hoped that like I'd strand them on mana by countering the Pearl, but they just had infinite mana. That is a really bad way to start, because I think it would have been a lot closer if I had played well. Also, just like getting swords out of mono white in game 1 is not something you really see. All of my 2-drops are pretty reasonable here. So is the Vexing Bauble. I don't even know how many forces I actually want in this matchup. Kind of don't really want all of them. Kind of just want to have removal spells and try to overwhelm my opponent and hope they keep like 2 clunky hand. Could be a bad idea. If I play a Lavinia on the play, it's still pretty damn good. Try this. Not really sure. This is like a mono white initiative is one of the biggest problems with playing a 5-color aggro deck. The fact that you get like way over the top by the Stompy deck is like their creatures are just so much better than yours because of the initiative. It's quite hard. This hand's obviously insane, so. But like, if you let one initiative creature like get going, you just lose the game when you're trying to play smaller creatures, which is really frustrating. But like, I just shouldn't have forced that Pearl. It was so bad. Oh well. Gotta move on. Obviously, this hand is the nuts because we have a Mox Sapphire to cast our 2 blue power. I'm gonna time walk so that I can like draw a Lavinia off of this ancestral. Also want to play all my spells before I play the Mai. There we go. Vexing Bauble. It's pretty good. All right. Got a Mai. May, whatever. Don't have a great creature base here, though, after Ancestraling. We'll see what happens. This is the problem, right? Like, I didn't play an initiative creature with my super crazy hand. Wasteland. Wastelanding is crazy because it's just so far, they're so far behind. The thing is, like, the initiative mechanic is not not very good against other vintage decks, but it's very good against not vintage decks like mine. How much does this thing cost to waterbend? 8. You just keep getting wastelanded, which is very odd. I don't think there's any reason to hold this. I feel like I just cast it and then don't airbend anything just to get attackers in here. Another Ang. Like I said, I made sure that all my creatures that were like a 4 ofs were all blue for force, but I mean, I wouldn't call it a meme deck. I wouldn't register it if I didn't think I could win. I would call it a brew. On the draw, we'll bring these forces back in and we'll take out Vexing Bauble and maybe a Ragavan. I don't know how many swords Medvedev plays if I want to keep it missed up for swords. Well, yeah, I mean, you played a Vexing Bauble and a creature on turn 1 against Mono White Initiative. Mono White Initiative relies on its off-color mana to actually accelerate them into the broken initiative creatures. So, yeah. Makes sense to me. This is the problem, though. I'm going to be on the draw here, and it's just such a bad matchup. Like Lavinia and Macti are really bad on the draw, but I also can't really cut blue cards that well here. Maybe I cut one of these for a trap and one of these for a misstep. Those are both blue card for blue card swaps. Because I probably need to be able to counter a Swords of Plowshares, unfortunately. Let's try this. Tamiyo is not an attacking creature, or else I'd play Tamiyo. I don't think Tamiyo has any place in this deck. It doesn't fit with what the deck is trying to do, right? Mox Amber is just not a playable magic card. So, like, what makes a Mox good? It's because you can play things ahead of curve. Does Mox Amber let you play things ahead of curve? No. We're like well over 20 for our blue count for forcible. We'll do a deck intro. We'll do a deck intro. Don't think I'm allowed to actually. I mean, I don't have a force anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't build decks that can't cast Force of Will and then play Force of Will. All right, well, 2 for 1 themselves twice with Archon and Clarion Conqueror and Ruby. So they have 2 cards left in their hand. All right, well, I can play a Cecile and a Dismember, so I like this spot. I think I would kind of want to draw a blue card or a land or my best draws. He probably won't even go down forward. He probably has to go down the Lost Well to make sure he's got a creature, unless he has a 4-drop in his got the 4-drop in his hand. That's why I kind of think a blue card might be good here. Yeah, I mean, if I thought Mox Amber would be good, this is the deck you would play it in. I just don't think Mox Amber is good. That is crazy. I don't think I'm casting that, though. Hopefully I don't have to force, and I can use Time Walk later. All right. Human. Sapphire. Should be updated. Yeah. You can see it. This certainly feels like a winning game. We'll see what happens. My opponent put 2 creatures underneath Chrome Mox. All right, I will play my 1-drop that I'm glad I put in my deck. And we'll see what happens here. The worst thing that can happen here is my opponent has last card Swords, then goes down the Lost Well and finds a Seasoned Engineer. That's the absolute worst thing that can happen. It looks like that's what they have. They have last card Dismember. Can I afford to let this resolve? I don't think so. I think I just have to hope they don't hit a creature. Also, I still don't have a basic to search off the initiative, which is unfortunate, but this is probably the most important choice of the game. I feel like if I let them go down the initiative twice, it's like way too bad for me, right? I don't know about that play, but kind of feels forced. See if they go down Forge or not. They went down Lost Well, makes sense. I kind of have to hope they miss, right? Like I don't have 2 removal spells. It's probably just doomed. They went top. That's not good. Of course. It's unbelievable. Certainly the best possible hit. Just have to kill this thing. And then I take a shot for 3. I Cecile, he trades, and I bring it back with Samwise. Or do I just trade and play Mai? Probably just trade and play Mai. Oh, that deals damage to me? That's crazy. That's a terrible draw. I mean, I'm just doomed, right? Like they're getting a Catacombs and they kept the second card on top, which means it's another creature. Like I just can't win. Like if they lost well and they top, I just can't win. Because this thing is going to take the initiative back unless I draw exactly Dismembered this turn. Also, I still don't have a basic to search for. Unlucky. So I'm just dead, right? Yeah, I'm just dead. So I can't block this. Maybe they'll chump. They'll chump to keep the initiative for a turn. I mean, I just can't beat a Throne of the Dead, right? No, I can't beat a Throne of the Dead. I'm sitting a Chancellor. I can't kill a Chancellor. This is just like the worst possible outcome for everything that happened in this entire game. Dismember. I mean, Dismember doesn't even kill Seasoned Engineer if it was Seasoned Engineer. I have no counterplay. We're just dead. I mean, I think we had a decent chance. Like I thought our hand lined up pretty well. I just needed my opponent not to have removal spell into creature or creature wasteland in this case. Like I just couldn't beat that. I mean, the big thing here is I needed to play better in game 1, right? Not that I think if I played better in game 1, I would have won, so I'm not sure that it matters much, but... I mean, this is basically the matchup we did not want to see in the field. We're really going to play another Dismember? Wow. That is the card that can technically answer this if I had a Black Lotus. Unlucky. Unfortunate. This is like the only bad matchup I would, or the only, not the only bad matchup, but this is like the only truly awful matchup. And I mean, it's close. Like we can win. It's just so frustrating. That's like one of the reasons I chose to play this deck today instead of previously is because mono white is basically on a huge downturn online. The last tournament had 2 mono white players in it. Like I wanted to just avoid it, but for some reason Medvedev hates mono white, and so he registered mono white. Close to a game set though. I think we have some chances later on here, so Try to rally back. So unfortunately, we have gotten a bye in round 2. So already a win for our humans deck. Okay, so we're now in round 3 of this vintage challenge where we lost a close one versus Mono White in round 1, and then got a bye in round 2. So we are now on round 3 up against a player who could be on Eldrazi or Oath. This hand is actually fantastic. So keep. It's a little hard can to play because once we use our Lotus, we won't actually have a blue source for recall. Our deck does not really cast recall and walk well, but I think it's worth keeping them in the deck. So, like, normally I'd be more interested in the Black Lotus Lavinia MacD, but now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Black Lotus Lavinia Ancestral, leaving blue up, I guess. And I think we're supposed to play Countryside. But I would like my Ancestral not to get countered, so I think I am going to play the Lavinia first. All right, that got forced. I'm glad. Oh, God, I'm glad they didn't negate my Lotus. All right, I'm going to respond to that with Ancestral in case I draw Force of my own. They have Force pitching Ancestral. So their hand was Force of Will, Force of Negation, Force of Will, and Ancestral Recall. And all of those cards are gone. And so are all of our cards. So that's bad. I assume they just have like lands and Moxen left, right? Or like land Orchard Oath. All right, tap land. Probably wasteland that. Oath is a matchup that's probably very bad pre-board, but post-board we do have 4 Containment Priests, which is nice. That is a pretty big upside of having Containment Priest over something like Leyline of the Void for Dredge. They are looking at surveilling. Strip mine to the grave. Ragavan's a good draw for us. Pretty sure we're always wasting here. Karakas will be decent against Atraxa, but not great. Oh, they had to fetch a land after. Alright, well, I will get this MacD down. MacD and Itla, the Sky Snares. Such a nice little spider. Look at him. Forbidden Orchard. No Oath. That's lucky. Gran has arrived. Actually kind of good here, considering it can pitch the second Sky Snares. I think I'm going to get... yeah, I think I'm going to play Gran. I want to get to like an Ang for tempo, or I'm not sure exactly. Like we're just like we don't have like the best things here for this also lets us crack us a show and tell Traxa right away, which is kind of nice. All right, they don't have another play here. 3 cards left in my opponent's hand. So now we get to attack with Gran and the Sky Snares, which will give us a loot to help us try to find something a little stronger. Plaza of Heroes. Think I would rather just get rid of Plaza of Heroes in case I draw Force. And then I'll just go Cavern on Human and play an uncounterable May. So now every time they play a spell, they'll take damage. And we still are covering Atraxa with Caracas. This looks playable. This looks playable. Okay, we're Flash. Flash costs 2 and gives us a Spirit. All right, a tapped Atraxa is gone. A tapped Sephiroth, I should say. 10 cards for the opponent, including Moxen, Time Walk, Oko. But we've got MacD and we've got May. So Moxen enter the battlefield tapped. I don't think land does though. But if they go land Time Walk, we get another token, and then they still need to do something. I think so if they go take Oko, Time Walk, Show and Tell, Sephiroth, Mox, they can't take Show and Tell and Time Walk. Oath. We have a Caracas. Also, like, we don't even need a Caracas bounce right away because these things enter the Atraxas enter tapped to MacD. Though you probably still bounce it right away. I think we might have hampered our opponent just enough to squeak out a win here. Which would be sweet. It's close. This is kind of the vision, though. I mean, we did have a broken opener, right? We had Black Lotus Ancestral, but sometimes we got to open some good cards, right? Surely. Deck is actually insane. All right, we've turned the corner. We've turned the corner from is this deck actually playable to the deck is actually insane. I respect it. I was wondering for a second there. All right. My opponent had lost connection from the game. That's why they hadn't picked yet. I was about to say my opponent's actually a very fast player. They make choices usually pretty quickly, so I was surprised. Uh-oh, did it go live? We'll have to talk about that after it goes live. Tuesday. It goes live on Tuesday. Ooh, it's gonna be a mess, chat. It's gonna be a mess. All right, so they went with Time Walk, and they went with Time Walk, Jet, Tropical, Atraxa, Oko, Oath, and Brainstorm. All right. I don't know that they can get around this. Like, the Caracas plus the hate pieces is too much, right? Wrath of God has been called. Oh, playing out the Mox. They only have the ability to play 2 more spells. This is cool. Our deck is like doing the thing. This is how I envision this card would actually work in like a kind of aggressive deck. So what's the plan? Brainstorm. I don't really know what that does. I thought the plan would be like Oko, turn off this. I don't know. They only get one more spell this game, so it better be good. Even if I didn't have Caracas and they show Intelligent Atraxa, we actually just attack through it, which is pretty crazy. But we do have the Caracas, which is even better. Yeah, show and tell. Yeah. Nothing from me. All right, tapped Atraxa. Okay, they wanted it for information. Oh, no Beseiju. I don't think Beseiju... the opponent was looking for Beseiju, but I don't think they thought about the fact that MacD makes it tapped. That makes sense. That makes sense to what they were trying to do there. All right, so for this matchup, I'm going to bring in Negations and Traps and Priests. Maybe not Trap on the play, but on the draw. And then I'll take out Bauble. I'll take out... How do I take cards out? I kind of feel like this is not a Cecile matchup. Doesn't really feel like a grand matchup either. Because a Ragavan I can dash every turn. Like, once I'm committed to the board, I'm committed to the board. I'm not really, actually, because I do have these Containment Priests. I probably need to keep as many blue cards as I can. So maybe one May and one in the Sandwise. And we do this. It's like probably close. Mental Misstep. It's probably still fine. Let's try this. I'm not sure. Yeah. So my opponent was trying to find a an Atraxa plus a Beseiju to kill Caracas, but that was not enough because of our spider got Atraxa. Pretty sweet. Okay. Can we win a game on the play or on the draw here versus Oath? This is a Force. This is a Containment Priest. This is bad mana. But definitely a keepable hand. So I'm definitely in for this hand. Just any of our 12 5-color lands, or our Caracas, or our Pearl, or our Lotus. So a decent set of draws towards the white source. And we can buy some time with Force Misstep Wasteland, so. All right, opponent mulligans, I keep. All right, see what we got. Mox. Can't do anything about that. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to. Mox Orchard. Oath of Druids. Force your Oath of Druids. Force back. All right, well, I'm going to have to draw that light source right now. Average Oath Gamer. You lose the game. Okay. Well, I guess I'll let them... I mean, they just can't miss, right? It's pretty unfortunate. I actually think we were going to be in a really good spot in this game if we did draw the land, but... We've drawn our Moxen a lot when we needed to draw one of our shitty 5-color lands instead. All right, there are Abrupt Decays coming in. That's kind of what I wanted to know. That's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. I think I am gonna bring this Samwise back in instead of this trap. No, I mean trap is still good for exactly that. I think we just need to not get... Oh, I actually kind of like Vexing Bobble. Let me take out this card here. I like Vexing Bobble on the play versus this deck. Man. I mean, I'd probably keep it if I had a land or was on the draw. The probability I draw a mana source is 17, 25. It's like it's a little less than 50%. I mean, it's any mana source. I'm probably supposed to keep this hand. I'm going to keep this hand. It has the cards we're looking for, right? It has an opening force. It has a containment priest. The containment priest is uncounterable. If I can cast it, I feel like I'm just supposed to keep this and see how it falls. Sure. It's a good one. I mean, they just like play Protected Show and Tell on turn 1 with Force Backup, then they play Protected Show and Tell on turn 1 with Force Backup. They got nothing. They're going to play nothing? What does that mean? Play around Mindbreak Trap, maybe? Land? Thank you. All right, cool. All right, the game gets to be played. This is really good. This is good. Because that was a risk, for sure. Maybe they wanted to get Abrupt Decay backup for their show and tell. I think no matter what, we're playing a Containment Priest at the end step here or in response to a show and tell. With that in play, we can then play an Inti and start attacking, trying to get fish for land drops as well. Bro, every deck I make is a real vintage deck. I make the format. I am the format. Don't even say that. I am the format. Whatever I put into deck becomes a real vintage deck. That's why we're here. I have to respond to the show and tell Wacky if I want this Containment Priest to stop the Atraxa. If I win the challenge, then it's, then I win the challenge. Everyone plays humans the next day. That's how it works. DT. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't put my own creature in after I Containment Priest to stop their creature from coming in. An annoying thing would be Oath of Druids, because I can play a Containment Priest, but I can't really counter an Abrupt Decay. So if my opponent like goes Oath of Druids like at end of turn here, I might like force back anyways. Wow. So they DT'd and they're passing. All right. Well, I am playing my Containment Priest, so I'd love to see a land still. Yeah, I don't know. So like, this is still tough. So if I wasteland, it takes them off of a color of mana here, but I missed my land drop and then I can't play anything. So I'm pretty sure I have to cast Inti and start looking for lands. I mean, like, if I hit a wasteland, it'd be pretty sick. I will discard one of my blue creatures that I can't cast. Probably just the Lavinia. Oh, right. This gives counters. This card's sick. Oh, I hit the wasteland. Well, I think I want to keep May because it's a castable card. That's my reasoning. I also like am not opposed to just like pitching this Ancestral to negation because it's going to be hard for us to cast this Ancestral. We need to have a blue creature in play and a Plaza probably, or you know something like that. I do like keeping them off of like green black. They kept a card on top here. The good news this time is I can attack before I tap my mana and I'll have more options. Yo, Wheeler, what's up? Welcome, Highlanders. We are trying to play 5-color heroes / humans here in Vintage. Currently up against Oath of Druids. Ancestral on my turn here. Can't do anything about that. We drew another Wasteland. I'm gonna discard I think I'm just gonna discard this Ancestral. I guess I'm not casting Basim, so I could just discard Basim. I guess I'll just discard Basim. Another Basim that I can't use. The good news is I have Uncounterable May. And a Wasteland. And then we'll see if that's enough. We have 8 power in play. My opponent loses life when they cast spells, and I'm going to take them off of another color of mana. This might just be enough. That'd be pretty sweet. It'd be a nice clean win. No funny business. My deck doing as I designed. It'd be really nice. Are they considering a dig? I'm not sure. They're going to be pretty mad about this Wasteland, though. It's really hard for them to play without the extra colors of mana, because like I assume their way of winning is Abrupt Decay, Show and Tell. I guess they can still Abrupt Decay, Show and Tell. See what they got. I did get an Wasteland day from my opponent in chat. My opponent is usually a pretty vocal chatter. Not a bad vocal chatter, but they'll be in chat if you do something good. For sure. I don't get to chat with my opponents very much anymore, just because I'm always on stream. I mean, we put down the beats here. The Wasteland saved our day for sure. But that's, I mean, that's why you play the broken cards, right? All right, search. They're down to 9. Let's see. Trop. We have 9 in damage in play, so I don't have a way of killing my own May. I have a Caracas I can bounce her back. Why? All right, here it comes. Black. So this is Abrupt Decay on Containment Priest. Oh, no, this is Oath of Druids. I don't understand. They have a long goodbye. Doesn't do anything, right? Or does it do anything? So this goes to 7. Long goodbye goes to... So this puts them to 7. Long goodbye puts them to 5, and they're still dead. So I guess I just let this resolve, right? Like, who cares? I guess I could have Time Walk and then somehow make a black mana, and he says he wants to play Decay, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah, I don't think this force gets much better anyways, so... We have just so much power in play. The fact that we had Wasteland is the key here, for sure. Wild. I mean, this is the vision. This is the vision. I did play a force in a deck where I played a Containment Priest, an Inti, and a May. All right, Dismember. All right, they still have 5 damage in play and a Wasteland. GG's. Oh. Cool. All right, we got an actual nice challenge win there. I like it. Okay, here we go. Round 4 of Vintage Challenge. 2-1. We're up against Chess Knight. Who knows what Chess Knight registered today? My hand does not contain mana to cast spells. I'm gonna mulligan. All right. We got a curve out here. Keep. Which card are we putting away, though? Which card are we putting away? Unfortunately, this card does not really work without the Grand after it, so... Probably just that one. So yeah, this is like it's a Spider-Man card that doubles the legendary creature you play, basically. No Mox Amber is surprising. Well, what does Mox Amber do? Not a whole lot. So. I think I'm just gonna get rid of this Druneth. All right, Plaza of Heroes, cast Grand. Your move, opponent. Or it plays a 1-drop after you resolve a 1-drop. It just doesn't do a powerful thing. Moxes are powerful because they accelerate you ahead of curve, where Mox Amber just doesn't do that. I think Mox Amber's best use that I've ever seen is like a combo deck that's like looping Mox Ambers, like the combo decks in the formats where you don't have Opal. This looks like a Wasteland angle here, but let's attack with Grand first and loot. Ooh. I think I'm gonna revise my plan, and I guess that's not that much better than playing May. Whatever. That's because they banned Kithis, though, right? Or did they remake Kithis? Kithis is a sweet card. I'll do a Kithis deck at some point, but the graveyard's too hated. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to Wasteland here, but I think this MacD might just be nice. All right, I'm gonna get rid of the 3-drop, and I'm gonna play MacD. They want to play MacD off of Wasteland just because I might draw another Wasteland. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, let's see what opponent does with this. So I probably want to play... Yeah, I'm probably playing my next turn here. I feel like with a MacD and a May... whoever... What is going on? Ipnu, Rivulet, Time Walk. Probe. What is Chess up to tonight? Yeah. I mean, you can play Mox Amber in this deck. If there was a deck to play Mox Amber, this is the one. I just don't think Mox Amber is good in this deck, so I didn't play it. Crystal Skull combo. Tinka? Oh, God. I don't want to see what comes out of this Tinker. Hopefully it's a Coveted Jewel that enters tapped. It's a Crystal Skull. Okay. So this is a Mystic Forge, basically. Which is fine, because we have May and MacD. So that's fine. I am not too worried about that. That is not a huge issue here. Okay, so we've got the hate pieces. We're definitely just playing Striker this turn. There's no reason not to attack first and see what Gran finds us. Caracas. I don't think that's necessary here. I think I'd rather have the creatures. I guess my card could get countered theoretically, but what are we gonna do? Oh, no, cancel. Oh, I used the Wasteland. Sorry, I was not looking. Okay. That was bad. Definitely wanted to take my opponent off 2 mana here. I don't know that it matters too much, but it definitely wasn't good. I just, oops. It's okay. Now my opponent took 2 extra damage for their Ancient Tomb because I did that. It's a very smart play by me. Shit. All right. They only get to cast a couple more spells in this game. I don't know what's in my opponent's deck, to be fair. I assume it's like Jewel, Raker adjacent. So I guess if they have a Raker, then it was really bad for me to not hit this Ancient Tomb. But they could still have played it. All right, so there's a Raker. All of these things enter tapped, though. And all of these Moxen costs things, and they can't Raker combo me. So I think it doesn't matter. I think they just die. Also, they took 2 extra damage here, which is good. We have 6 damage with the NT. So if they play any more spells, they die. I think this is fine. These cards have been quite good. They are anti-combo cards have actually done exactly what they were supposed to do, which is sweet. I am excited. This is cool. Okay, what else you got? Sensei's Top. Enters tapped and costs 2 life. Oh, glaring Fleshraker combo. It'd be a shame if someone sent the Spider Squad to get you. What else you got? You can keep casting spells as much as you want, Chess. Sink into stupor. I think we're still fine. All of these things enter tapped. Still enters tapped. Still good. Okay, I mean, it almost came back to bite me. I definitely almost lost because I didn't wasteland, but all right, we know that we have the cards that we're looking for here, and we it gets better post board. We've got 2 negations, a trap, and 3 null rods. I'm gonna take out Cecile and Bauble on the draw and Ragavan here. Yeah, cool. It's pretty straightforward. Do I want to bring in Dismember for Fleshraker? Probably. It's hard to say. Like, if Fleshraker is their only card, I guess it's probably better than a Samwise. Don't want to drop any of my blue cards, though. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll have a random Dismember. Well, Grand pitches to Force, and Ragavan doesn't do anything, so. This sounds great. Grand better card than Ragavan, confirmed. You can tell the legacy players I said that. All right, we got a 6-card hand from Chess with a Mana Crypt. A Soul Ring is getting misstepped. A Mana Vault. A Fleshraker is getting forced. I'm going to pitch Basim. And that's it. I'm going to play a Cavern on Human, and I'm going to play a Gran. And then hopefully we can just loot our way into a Lavinia on turn 2 here, and then my opponent shouldn't be able to play very much. Sapphire. Wow, I'm almost thinking I'm supposed to force this Sapphire. We know they don't have a land drop, and we know they play a bunch of blue spells. I think I'm supposed to force this. Plaza of Heroes. That cast Lavinia. Discard Jet. And they have an active Crypt and an active Vault. I mean, they can draw mana and play Raker, and then things get a little awkward, but it's certainly good. And I assume this Mana Crypt will start helping me at some point. Here we go. And I get to loot till I find good creatures every turn. Gran, doing work. All right, that's not exactly what I was looking for. I think I'm going to hold this land for Gran. I think my deck is doing the thing. I do think, for what it's worth, combo, and especially artifact-based combo, is probably my best matchup. I'm telling you, chat, I wouldn't register the deck if I didn't think I could win with it. We're getting pretty close. All right, here we go. We are now in round 5 of this vintage challenge. We're 3-1 and have the highest breakers. So if we can keep winning, also our round 1 opponent is 4-0. And Black Dix is 4-0, of course. All right. Let's see what we got on the play. Oh. Okay. I don't know that this hand's good enough. This hand asked the question, does one Cecil, get us there. It's kind of hard to pass up Force, Lotus, Wasteland. It's just a 2/3 death touch, and if we ever hit 10 life when we attack, it flips into the 4/4 life linking. Attacking creatures get indestructible. Other attacking creatures get indestructible. I'm kind of thinking this hand does not good enough. Depending on what deck they're on. Yeah, we just don't have a second creature. Like, if we had a May to follow this up with, it'd be a pretty sweet hand, huh? But we have a Force and a Wasteland, right? And a creature, like... But we're so far from casting another spell. It's just a weird hand. I mean, I am going to mulligan this. I think we need to do something better. Interesting. This is better. This is definitely better. So this is Lotus, Bauble, MacD, Cecil. They must have gone down from when you saw them, but they are back up. So this Black Lotus is worth too much money online, but the not old frame back Black Lotus is very affordable. All right, Black Lotus. This one is only going up, unless you were thinking about this one, in which case, yeah, it's probably 4x, maybe 3x. All right, blue, Bauble. That was a pretty principled mulligan there. That went pretty well. All right. What are you thinking, opponent? I think they're thinking I'm going to play the Pioneer Challenge. Who will use up more time? The person who ran down the elevator or the person playing the Pioneer Challenge? A bit longer than that. Oh, the recent one. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, if opponent wasn't going to counter Vexing Bauble, they probably should just F6. All right. I got 4 power on turn 1. My opponent can't play spells that cost no mana. Is this good? Question mark. Also, artifacts and creatures enter tapped from the opponent. I think Bauble is at its worst against shops, so I'm not sure that I agree with your statement. Interesting draw. Opponent probably had to check if they're playing Pioneer or not. City of Traders. What is this? Okay, so it's Sphere Shot. All right, I'm going to crack Bauble and force this, I think. I just don't want that in play. That's just how I lose. Now they can play zeros and tap 1. I'm not sure this is enough. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see. I kind of feel like we're unfavored. But MacD is really good against Raker, so maybe it's enough. And Mana Crypt's coming out. Okay. That could help us. Ragavan. Aw, man, it's too bad I can't play Drunith, because Ragavan at least triggers Drunith. But their creatures are going to be tapped for this turn, so we'll be able to at least hit with this Ragavan. All right, this might do it. Might get there. Yeah, that's what chat said. I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time. I bought mine 7 years ago, so. You weren't expecting 5-color heroes? All right, Mystic Forge. This looks playable still. I need to get some water is what I need to get. Opponents gotta be very careful. They have a Mana Crypt in play, and Ancient Tomb is their mana source. Oh yeah, I mean it's not only is it 2 power, but it also is a mana to play a 2-drop if I miss a 2-drop Lana, so I don't think it's nothing here, but obviously they can spin and use the Ragavan to help filter cards, but I think it's okay. I don't know. Seems like a reasonable spot. I'm gonna get water because we don't know what they're doing. And these curly fries are all right. Unfortunately, like maybe I should just re-air fry them or something. They're not crunchy as I would like them, but I need food in my body right now, so. It is what it is. Pretty nice, though. They are dead to Mana Crypt. All right. 6. Opponent goes to 2. Got to land off their top. Gives me a creature, at least. All right. Do you lose to Mana Crypt or not? Hopefully the MacD just protect us from dying, and we should have a couple chances at this. All right. Mana Crypt got there. All right, cool. I mean, tempo, baby. No rods are coming in. Negations are coming in. Trap is coming in. Dismember is coming in. MacD's looked good. It's definitely true. Cecil seems bad. Bobble on the draw seems bad. Drunith is probably just not good in this deck. Ragavan seems pretty bad, especially on the draw. I want all my blue cards. Or just Samwise. All right. Not bad. Yes. Today's a cheat day. I worked out today. I'm allowed to have a buffalo chicken calzone and curly fries. I like clocked off work, worked out, and then got on stream for you guys. So, yeah, I don't know if I agree, Shenmade, but I definitely am happy that people enjoy the format. It's cool. Every viable Magic format is rising tide, you know. You can do exclamation mark E price, I believe. I guess not. I tried. Yeah, I usually just go to Goat Bots. All right, this hand has no force in it and doesn't play a creature on turn 1. Probably just mulligan. Maybe it's just price. I don't know. No, those are dollars. It doesn't help. Yeah, I just use Goat Bots. Who knows? Okay. Here's a Null Rod and a Force and 1 land and a Dismember. I'm keeping. And a okay. I think I'll get rid of one of my blue cards and keep all the rest of this stuff. Yeah. All right. Let's see how this fares against a 7-card keep. If it's Crawler, we have an easy Dismember. We probably have to force Ring. I think I'm just going to force the Flesh Raker. I think that's a little bit too dangerous to let resolve on turn 1 with no available mana. And then we just try to hit a land drop so we can play this Null Rod. Getting rid of a blue card did mean when I drew my next force, it wasn't online, but I think I wanted to have a creature and a Dismember. I feel like that made sense to me. So if this is a ring, we're gonna have to draw that mana source. It's a ring. All right, we have another draw step here. We've got 18 lands and 6 Moxen, so 24, just under 50-50. Nice. All right, Null Rod. So now they're on a City of Traders and a Ticking Time Bomb 1 ring. We still can't cast any creatures, but we do have a Dismember. No Rod's only as good as you let it be. Raker and Jewel let it be very good against them. All right, they're not going to use their land drop here. I can't play any land. I'm not going to wasteland them. So I just have to pass back. They take 2 damage every turn from the ring and the mana vault. I mean, if they play a workshop and lose their traders, I think we might wasteland it, but Saga is like the big card here that this wasteland will help cover. I think like I would consider a workshop, but probably holding for Saga is I agree with that. So let's see. I have creatures all covered here. So I guess like their best spell is Tezzeret. Flesh Raker is fine. I'm just going to dismember this. I'm looking for my multicolor lands. There's 12 of them. We also have negation up now. So we could counter Tezzeret. I'd love to have a creature in play to really put the pressure on, but all right. Raker player did not want to see a Null Rod and left before the game end. I'm in. I was about to do nothing for quite a long time here, but they have 2 damage every turn and they can't get rid of Null Rod, so it might just not matter. That's another win for the humans. We are 4-1. We have good breakers. We might top 8 on 4-2, but we will lock top 8 on 5-1, so a good night so far. Welcome to the 6th and final round of Swiss in this Vintage Challenge. I am 4-1 with very good breakers, so we're in a good spot, but a win will lock up top 8, and that's what we want to do here. So on the play, I want to win this. I also want to have the play as much as I can in the top 8 because our deck is better on the play. Okay, I mean, we're playing against Lurrus, and we got a hand with 1-drops and stuff. Okay. I like this. All right, I'm going to keep. So are we dashing Ragavan, chat? Probably. We don't have to dash Ragavan. It's pretty bad against Bowmaster if we leave it. I think we should dash it. Hit Ancestral, right? All right, I'm using my Plaza of Heroes to dash Ragavan in Vintage. It's getting forced. Pitching PO. I guess that just happens because I would certainly rather have force for your stuff. All right. We tried a Cavern of Souls. It does make me regret not just casting Ragavan and casting Seal. I guess I can't do that. I can only cast 1, so I kind of had to dash. Mox. Ooh, nice Moxen. Fetch. At least you don't buy Lurrus. Bulk. Stock up. I will force your stock up. I think we're dead. Unless we had like, I don't even know what we could have here. I'm pretty sure we're dead though. This exchange does not seem to favor me. I mean, the force on my Ragavan exchange was pretty good, but now my opponent has free will to do whatever they want, and whatever they want sounds bad for me. Yeah, PO for 2. Not ideal. I think we needed instead of a Cecile or Cecil or whatever the hell this stupid card's called, we kind of wanted like a May. If only I could pronounce the names of my cards. That would help probably. Looks like they have Lurrus and a Bobble Engine as well. Speak it into existence, and you shall receive. That's certainly something. They forced it. Oh, man. I mean, they have 1 card left, but they still have a Lurrus as well, which is a problem. Yup, by Lurrus. I kind of needed that card to resolve, huh? Okay, a Basim? Basim? That's a good one. Black and blue. All right, but now they have a Lurrus, though, with a looping bauble. Is he him? Here comes Lurrus. Don't have anything good for this. Oh, stock up, even better. All right, I think we're just dead. This was a really good hand for my opponent. 2 on-color Moxen, Force PO, Force Merchant Scroll, stock up PO, Vexing Bauble. It's a nice hand. Who made that deck? That deck looks so strong. Ancestral. Suddenly my opponent has 6 cards in hand. I really needed this to resolve. I think if this resolved, we have a decent shot, actually, but without it resolving, it's really tough. Squelcher. Yeah, I don't actually think our deck wants to play Lurrus for what it's worth. I've been very happy with having Aang as a what's it called really? It's like Reflector Mage and it's blue. And I'm not convinced that we are very often returning things with Lurrus, but the good news here is this triggers my Basim. Draw a card. That would be good if I had another blue card, which I don't. Somehow, I think we're going to be a turn short because this got countered. A little rough. Not bad, though. Like, we put up a pretty good fight versus, like, what I would consider to be a very, very solid PO hand. I think we might need to have more of this card in our deck, too. I thought about putting the 4th one of her in the board, but it's tough to play 4 of a non-blue creature legendary. All right, looks like saving 2 life with this Hexing Squelcher makes sense. If only I had a way to draw another blue card right now. All right. See if I were dead. My opponent could, like, the best case scenario for us is my opponent just goes like Lurrus replay Squelcher. That's probably best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we lose the game on the spot. PO kill us, you know? All right, Cat. I also still have my Plaza of Heroes, which gives a legendary hexproof and indestructible. So if my opponent gets too rowdy with these blocks, we have another avenue here. Also, second seam. I think what we do is we see if they read Plaza of Heroes, and we attack with just these 2. And then if there's no blocks, then we'll play this to cycle through, I think. Well, maybe we won't. Let's see, I assume this gets a chump block here. Oh, this is gonna chump block here for 3, and it's gonna let that happen. This means they can lifelink if I don't play a new creature. So I guess maybe I was supposed to just... I mean, they read the Plaza of Heroes, so I think I should just cast a new... Seam, so they can't attack with Lurrus. It's kind of bad for me if I don't have to draw another blue card. But I guess if they like replay the bauble ever, I can't force anyways. I'll lose my 3 power guy. God, I don't know. It's Feels tough. That's a terrible draw. I mean, it's not a terrible draw in the fact that I can play it. Oh, wait. I can trigger this Basim this turn, right? Hexer also makes things uncounterable, yeah. Hexing Bauble. I could maybe have held that one, but I think I'm just going to play it so they can't PO kill me. Okay, I mean, that's not bad. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't work because they can PO kill me with Hexer. God, this card's so annoying. All right, never mind. But, like, I guess I could have played a Ragavan, maybe. Hmm. Yeah, if they have PO, they just kill me, huh? Also, they have, like, a Flame of Anor. It's really bad. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess Force is always dead because of Squelcher, too. Damn. We really needed to counter the Lurrus is what we needed to counter, but we didn't have the blue card at the time. They ripped a third PO? That's not good. Is there anything I can do? Not really. All right. I think we just lost. Like I said, we really needed this card to resolve, because if this card had resolved, I think we win this game. Damn. Damn, 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 damn. That's so sad. Maybe I should have kept the bobble in place so they had to play Squelcher first, but it doesn't really matter. I think we had almost the tools we needed here, though, so it's a decent sign. We had like I said, they had a very strong start. They had double mocks on color, force blue card, stock up, force blue card, PO. Like, it was a strong, very strong opener for PO, and we had a good chance. Stock up. Yeah, I mean, if our Plaza of Heroes was a Cavern of Souls, I guess that would have also helped. No Cavern draw. They only have, what, one PO left in their deck? And they're oh, they had Time Walk. Okay. Swords main. That's good to know. Means they probably have two swords main, because if you're not on my list that had no swords, then you're probably on the more recent list that played two. Didn't kick a trainer. Trainer hit mental misstep. I feel like there's no world where I'm going to be able to push through here. Lame. Pretty ready to concede. Just a poor Grand against the world. There's no card that really gets me out, right? I guess Ancestral theoretically could. Ancestral into Basim again. Ooh, interesting. Manifold Key. I think I knew that this player played an interesting list. I guess I'm gonna loot, because what else am I doing with my life here? Um, Do I want to be showing them this? I mean, I'm pretty close to flipping it and randomly winning. I'll give it a go college try. Looking for their second swords, it looks like. They drew force. All right. I will take that as my L, and we'll go to game 2. I think we'll bring in Negation, Trap, and Null Rod, though it's not as good as it was in the other matchups. I don't really know what is going to be as good. This matchup seems very, very challenging. I just think that my PO deck is so well constructed. It's going to be all, it's going to get to bring in tons of removal and pyroblasts. It just feels pretty unbeatable. Not sure. I mean, this can at least generate advantage, but I don't even know if I really like negation that much. I just think I made too good of a deck, man. My Jeskai PO deck is way too good. Like it's just hard to attack because it's so resilient. It's not like Raker that just folds over to one Null Rod. Give it our best shot though. Try to get it on the table fast. This is good. This is a May. I mean, yes and no. Like, I'm not gonna get into the weeds of what is whose magic deck. But I would say the current version of Lurrus PO is mine, yeah. I mean, it's just swords and portable hole. Like, I just have nothing to really do here. I'm not going to negate that. Like, there's just no way I'm 2-for-1ing myself for that swords. Especially, I really just want to hit another blue source. All right. I mean, maybe it's a Wasteland game where Wasteland just does the thing. I mean, kind of doubt it because they had no Moxen, but all right, just 2 land, no Moxen. Cavern. Cavern? Game, please. Oh, my opponent's pitching to hands. I need a cavern. Like, they're gonna counter whatever I play, man. I need a cavern. All right, that'll get countered at least. I mean, I'm probably fighting over this. I don't know. Who am I kidding here? Like, this resolving is quite good for me. Hmm. Well, this just resolves? Sick. Any land. Now I get a cavern. Blue, black. See. This looks like a win. Wasteland Gaming. Ang. I think I'll just play Ang for the trigger. All right, all right, all right. Are you still undefeated, Black Dex? Interesting. I mean, I think I'm down. Oh, you went 4-2. Okay. I guess I'll just cast this other Basim and just keep the one that's in play. All right. We successfully played 2 Wastelands and won the game. That card is definitely fair. Reasonable card to have. All right, all right, all right. Let's try again. Wasteland's so broken, man. It's not reasonable at all. What am I talking about? It's nice to be on the other side of Wasteland, giving everybody free wins. What is this, man? I mean, it's a keep. It's a keep. Trainer? It's a much better start. Yeah, it's a much better start. Don't know that this is going to get there versus turn 1 trainer, but stock up. Strip mine. All right. Resolvers. Maybe I should also hold that. Strip mine gaming. Okay. I have mental misstep coverage. What else you got? Swords. Covered. Stock up is +3 in their hand. Plaza of Heroes. I'm thinking I'm about to jam this null rod. I think we have enough gas here. Is this enough gas? They can have pyro. Yeah, yeah. Null rod. Okay. We're in. Wasteland is so broken, man. It's so broken, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Gaming. Volcanic? Oh my god. Well, why can't I complain? Why can't I complain that Wasteland's allowed in my format, man? How is that reasonable? I wonder if they brought in Pyro. Pyro is super good against my deck. It's okay. Another Wasteland on the top here. Oh, they had the Pyro. All right, all right. Cavern, human, attack for 2. of these, chat. You are allowed 5 in your deck. I can't wasteland that one. All right, 5 more attacks. It's been a good stream. Yep. Tapped. Can't be activated. Black Lotus. Yep. Uncounterable Lavinia. Top 8, baby. Oh my god. 1 mana away from Plaza of Heroes protection. Gosh. All right, 1 more attack. Top 8, baby. Let's go. Oh man. Who thought we'd be here at the end of the night? There were people asking me if I was memeing. If I was memeing. Okay, here we go. Top 8 time. We are top 8 with our 5-color heroes decks. We're up against a very powerful wizard who does know our deck list, so that'll be interesting. Last seen playing Lurrus PO, probably still playing Lurrus PO. Lurrus PO is really strong. This hand slaps. This hand slaps. I'm in. Oh, I need to... Am I dashing this Ragavan? I guess I am dashing the Ragavan. Am I dashing the Ragavan? I'm thinking about like not dashing the Ragavan and just playing Ragavan and Inti and passing and holding the Mox Emerald. They can't really go badly because even if they play a blocker, I can Inti onto the Ragavan on the next turn. I'm just thinking there's like not much I can actually cast off this Ragavan. And like I don't know what I'm discarding to the Inti. I think I'm supposed to not dash the Ragavan. Not sure, though. I got mental misstepped. That is the biggest fucking blowout of all time. Can I force this? Oh, that's so bad for me. That is unbelievably bad for me. That just ruins my whole fucking plan. Okay, I think I'm gonna force this. I feel pretty bad about the current state of things if this doesn't resolve. If they force back, it's fine. I'll play Inti and pass. Ooh, what a weird hand. It's very odd. It's not like the Ragavan is the only thing I have going for me, but it's like a really big part of what I have going for me. That mental misstep is crazy strong. Like, I don't think this Ragavan is that good if I didn't have Inti backup, because then they could just play Thunder Trap Trainer and block. But, all right, so they had Force pitching PO. So this is fine. We trade forces. I lose Ragavan. I play Inti. I'm going to hold this Emerald so I can get rid of it. This is okay. This is okay. Sapphire. Ancestral? Soul Ring? Ancestral. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat that. Opening hand, misstep, force. Ancestral Sapphire is going to be tough. Without having like a turn 1 Lavinia, I don't know if we're ever really beating this hand. If I had a Cavern and played turn 1 Lavinia, I think we would be actually be in good shape. But, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have made that deck so good. And a Merchant Scroll for a PO. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Sometimes you get vintaged. Nothing we could do here. Okay, we go to game 2. If we had turn 1 Lavinia, that's how we get through that game, but that was not remotely close to what we had. That's a 1%er draw. It happens. You just got to move forward with it. What were we taking out? We were taking out CC. I can't ever say this person's name. We're taking out Cecil and what did I trim? A Ragavan and the Dreniths? What did I trim against PO last time, chat? It was like this, maybe? I feel like it was like this. Yeah, I'm gonna run this. Yeah, I think the only way I beat a hand like that is turn 1 uncounterable Lavinia, which is really good. Like, it's a thing we can do, but that was not what our hand had. And I don't think I was gonna mulligan my hand that had force plus two plays on turn 1. I mean, even if they hadn't missed up Ragavan, it was still really bad for me, right? Because they could just do their turn 1 play with force backup. So it wasn't really not much we could really do there. One thing I didn't do is on my tweet is I didn't put my sideboard on my tweet. So I don't know if he's going to look at my sideboard now. This is definitely another matchup where having an additional MACD, additional May or my May or a Camball or something would help. I've been talking with chat in between rounds about the changes I want to make to the deck, and I have some ideas from chat. All right, we're on the play again versus Lurrus. I've got a pretty solid one, all things considered. Definitely down to keep here. I think I am going to play around Mindbreak Trap, and I'm just going to play the Emerald for 2 damage after. I guess I can just hold it. I guess holding it's pretty good for Basim as well, so. Uncounterable anti-combo card. It's a good start. See how they play through this. Obviously, this matchup is atrocious because our opponent's deck is great because I made it. It has too much removal. It has 4 swords, 2 to 3 portable holes, multiple pyroblasts. You saying humans can't be heroes, Ari? Unbelievable. You would. I don't even know what that means. What is he even saying? All right, swords. Who puts so much removal in my opponent's deck? Mox. Mox. I want to hit a land drop here. Mana Vault. PO? Yeah, I mean, whatever, bro. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Oh, Lurrus by. Oh, no, 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 no. No. Oh, man. All right. Well, it was a fun stream while it lasted. Unfortunately, the only thing that can stop a good guy with a Justin deck is an opponent with a better Justin deck. They have hardcast. They have hardcast force on my null rod. It's actually a pretty good draw. All right, so I will play uncounterable Basim. And then I will trigger Basim with my Mox. And then I will... Ooh, hold up, wait a minute. It's just gonna get hardcast forced. Is there anything I can really do about that? Not really. If this resolves and I bounce Lurrus with a Caracas, no, they have hardcast force. All right. This doesn't actually stop the Lurrus from going Lurrus Lotus, but I still have a Caracas here, so we have a Basim and we have an Ang. Ang is uncounterable and triggers Basim. Don't know if that's what I want to do, but probably holding open the Ang so I can. I mean, what does airbending a spell do, man? The opponent has 8,000 mana. I don't think that would be worth it. No, I mean, I don't think that would be worth it. I think I'd rather have Basim going. Interesting. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to make them have force there, because if they don't have force there, we win, right? I don't know if like waiting is like good, or I guess I had 5 mana, like you said. And so if I like had force, no blue card, or I mean, if they tapped out, and yeah, maybe I could have gone. Maybe I could have gone no rod Ang. That might have been better. All right, I'm just gonna bounce this and attack with Basim for 2, and just hold open this Ang / force. Still get a counter, even though I didn't draw a card. I don't think I'm allowed to cast Ang like for more value than this, because I feel like I still need to have force up for PO, right? Stock up. It just doesn't do anything. All right. You do not get to call my deck cops and robbers. Get out of here. Get out of here. No, sir. This is 5-color heroes. Opponent has a Talarian Academy. Fantastic. I'm not anging nothing. I will cast Aang end of turn to trigger Basim if I don't force anything. But I just have to hold this force for for PO. Sag. What happens if I airbend a Snapcaster flashback chat? It's bad for me. I assume it's bad for me. Or is it not bad for me? I think it's bad for me. Pretty sure it's bad for me. What would make it not bad for me? If it wasn't flash... Oh, because it's not flashback. No, it is flashback. Pretty sure it's bad for me. All right, my opponent has force back up again. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters, chat. Nothing matters. All right, well, Jeskai PO is the best deck in the format, and I know because I made it. All right, not a bad top 8, all things considered. I think we got basically just run over by incredible draws in the top 8, and that happens. The changes that I kind of want to make are this Drenith slot, which is probably not very good, and the Samwise, which was feeling a little bad. I'm gonna probably recommend that these become a MacD and number 3, and then 2 Valkies. I really like the Valky idea. It has like nice game against Frog, and it has a sick airbending synergy where you can cast the backside. Yeah, nice deck you were playing. Moxen, all counters, PO nonsense. It's fine. This was a good run. So yeah, I think this is where I would like to move the deck into if someone wanted to try to play it after. And then the sideboard seemed okay. I'm not too worried about the sideboard either. So I mean, this was cool. This was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed me making. This is, no one can say this is not a brand new brew, never before seen. Top 8s on the first try. You do love to see that kind of experimentation happening in Magic's oldest format. I hope you enjoyed this and you want to see more vintage content, which you can find on the YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.